Thanks for staying with us. Now, imagine a bulletproof park where children can play without parents worrying about the possibility of a stray bullet hitting them. This is a proposal by Gun Free South Africa to help develop the world's first bulletproof facility in Mitchell's Plain, a community ravaged by gang violence. Let's chat about this now. Gun Free South Africa's Executive Director, Adèle Kirsten, joins us live now. Adèle, thank you so much for your time this evening. Let's start first with the thinking behind this concept.
Good evening, Bongiwe. I think you've done the introduction to raise the issue of the extent of gun violence in our country, but in Mitchell's Plain in particular. So Gun Free South Africa has been working with local community organizations to look at ways of creating gun-free zones, of creating passages of safety. And this year in particular, but over the last several years, we've seen the significant increase in gun-related violence across the country. 34 people are shot and killed every single day. So the purpose behind the park is really to begin to put solutions on the table about how do we begin to protect those who are most vulnerable, children who, when they are out playing, are caught in the crossfire.
And how bad are the numbers, would you say, of children who get caught in the crossfire?
So the available data we have is from the last year, from October to December. And on average, 3 children are murdered every day. There are 4 attempted murders on children every single day. And we suspect, we're doing some analysis, is that 80% of attempted murders, a gun is used. We also know that the data from Red Cross Children's Hospital, which is where children from 12 and under go to if they need trauma or emergency assistance, is that over the last 10 to 15 years, more than half of the children presenting at that hospital come in because of gun-related shootings. And the data across the globe actually shows that children from 12 years and under are particularly vulnerable to being shot and killed or injured in crossfire. So this is a serious problem. The proposal is a serious proposal in the sense that it's saying people are desperate. We are desperate for solutions because right now, our government doesn't seem to be taking this issue seriously. And so the proposal is really developed out in a response to the seriousness of the problem in our country.
A serious one indeed. And Adèle, if I can, as we show our viewers that particular park, just talk us through what, we would be seeing, for example, and how safe it's likely to be for children who'd be playing inside.
So the park has all the fabulous things that young kids love. They've got slides, jungle gyms, some of those tunnels. So really kind of, I guess, state-of-the-art equipment. And then you get shocked at actually what's inside that park as well. There's a panic button. There are cameras. There's facial recognition at the door, and it's got level 8 bulletproof glass. And so when you look at that and you think this is a place where children should be free to play with each other, and yet we're putting them in a bit like a cage, in a box. What does this do to children to have to play in these circumstances? And then it begs the question is, what are children currently feeling and experiencing in parks like in Beacon Valley, in Mitchell's Plain, in Hanover Park, in Atlantis? Yeah. This feeling of being under threat, that at any moment they can get caught in the crossfire and they don't have control over that. We need to start as community leaders, as active citizens, we need to start providing some of those solutions.
And especially because children will be children. They just want to play outside sometimes and really just meet other kids as well. And I know that for some people who have been watching this developing, just this development since we saw news of this proposal, were that for them it's a hard pill to swallow, especially when they see that now these are steps that need to be taken in order to protect the little ones so that they're able to spend some time outdoors. But I wonder then, how much of a symbol is this, especially for gangs?
So as you'll see, there's facial recognition in the park design, and that means that it will only recognize children coming into the park. But I think the really important thing, Bongiwe, is that it highlights actually how inadequate this park is to deal with the problem, because it's 24 children for a couple of hours a day that are protected. What happens when they leave the park? What happens when they walk from school to home, when they go to the spaza shop? So on one hand, this is not the best possible solution, because this is protecting them from the stray bullets. But when are we going to start having the conversation about the guns? It's the guns we have to get off the street. And so that's the best possible solution. So what part of our next steps are now are to begin engaging with community forums, CPFs, etc., about, is this a solution? And we're seriously looking at the cost. We're engaging with people who have been designing it and who are keen in partnering with us on this. So it's a serious proposal, an outrageous one, to deal with a really serious problem. But at the same time, we have to be having the conversation of what are the other solutions to keeping our children safe.
And definitely, as you say, this is, in part, the one part of the conversation, the one part of the efforts in order to try and protect the children who are impacted in these particular communities. But I suppose then for us, as a step further, we are now still trying to get a hold of the, safety officials in the Western Cape in order to be able to speak to them as well about this, because it also speaks to accountability and what efforts then get put in place. So we will, bring you that conversation as soon as we are able to then, speak to them. I mean, really, this is a situation that is untenable for children. But thank you so much, Adèle. Do appreciate your time and for having this difficult conversation this evening. Like I said, great choice of color. Appreciate it. That is Adèle Kirsten there, and she is the Executive Director at Gun Free South Africa.